Hello, I'm Vahid Lotfi, Emeritus Professor of Management Science. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the Microsoft Excel PivotTable command to create a crosstab or a cross-tabulation data format. So let's get started. So I have obtained a data set on automobiles fuel efficiency for the year 2022 from fueleconomy.gov, and this includes a set of approximately 860 vehicles, and I restricted it to cars with gasoline engine powered only. I eliminated electric cars and hybrid cars. And let's say my interest lies in determining how many cars might have city mile per gallon between 20 and 24 miles per gallon and highway mile per gallon of 25 to 29. I'm going to find the answer to this question developing a crosstab of city miles per gallon and highway miles per gallon. In order to develop the crosstab table, I am going to use the pivot table command within Excel. To get started, I will go to Insert and select Pivot Table, and I want my pivot table to be from range, and now I have to identify the data range for my table. So I'll start here and highlight the entire table, click Close here, and I want to place my pivot table in a new worksheet, so I'll click OK, and now I have a new worksheet. Mine is numbered sheet 11 because I've been using Excel for a while now today. So on this side we have the pivot table fields. As I said, I am going to select city mile per gallon on the rows of this table and highway miles per gallon for the columns, and I'm going to count the number of models that satisfy my expectations. As you can see, Excel generates a crosstab, or what is called the pivot table, that actually has values for each and every number associated with the highway miles. This, however, is not easily comprehensible and doesn't answer my question unless, of course, I start to count the columns and or rows manually. There is a better way to do that. I will right click on any column and then select group, and now I want my starting group to be, I'll select 10 to make it better, and go up by 5 units at a time. So we can see pivot table collapse the columns to classes or groups of 5 at a time. I will do the same thing on the rows. Put the cursor on any row, right click, select group, and then as my starting point I can start with 10. Obviously there'll be a couple of cars below 10, and that's okay, and I will go 5 units at a time on the rows, and I have my table. I would like to have row labels and column labels and have this in a slightly better format. Click anywhere on the table, then go to Design, and then go to the report layout and select tabular format. Notice that this table is much more presentable. In addition, the rows and columns have labels. And let me see what my question was. I wanted to know the number of cars that have a city mile per gallon of 20 to 24 and a highway MPG of 25 to 29. So here is my row of 20 to 24 on the city mileage and 25 to 29 on the highway mileage, and there are 158 such cars. Let's say you wanted to know what percent of the cars that have a city mileage of 2024 that number is. Well, you right click here and you select show values as, and you select row totals, and we can see that's 54.3% of the cars that have city gas mileage of 20 to 24 cars. You can ask the same question about the percentage of columns. Let's say I wanted to know what percentage of cars that have 30 to 34 miles per gallon on the highway and have a city mileage of 35 to 39. In this case, I will take set values as percent of row columns, and that's only 1.6%. Another feature of pivot tables is that, let's say your interest only lies in only a set of columns, you can click on this down arrow and then uncheck the columns that you're not interested in. And what pivot table does is it collapses those columns that you don't have any interest in. And that is how we use the command pivot table in Microsoft Excel to generate a crosstab or develop cross tabulation.